Judicial power of injunction should also not apply to proceedings of Parliament or its committees, or even to proceedings of county assemblies. Questions may now be asked regarding the grant of anticipatory bail to presumed criminal offenders. And of course, the country is awash with such. Proposals relating to the independence of the judiciary. The functioning of the judiciary should be delinked from the administrative control of the Judicial Service Commission. While performing judicial duties, judicial officers should be shepherded from administrative bulldozing of the Commission. Cartels in the legal profession have often fought for membership into the Judicial Service Commission so as to occupy the vantage position to manipulate judges with administrative threats and promises. Judiciary should be accountable to the people of Kenya for the way it exercises judicial authority. The pillar of this accountability is the Chief Justice, who should bear responsibility for the functioning of the judiciary. The Judicial Service Commission by the President with the approval. The Attorney General, the Chief Registrar shall be the Secretary as the case is today. Functions remain the same. Mr. Chairman, I have some final remarks on proposal relating to national security. The security of Kenyans is a critical determinant of the success and sustainability of our national development efforts. The provision of security is not the exclusive responsibility of our national security organs, but incorporates the complementary efforts of both the legislature and the judiciary. Kenya has been faced with an unconventional war of terror waged by non-state entities or non-state actors or enemies operating within and without our borders. The suffering meted out on Kenyans and the threat to the stability of our economy forced Kenya to deploy the defense forces for the very first time inside the territory of neighboring Somalia. The 1020 Constitution did not contemplate instances where recognized non-state groups and organizations militarily threaten Kenya's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and security through a clear command and control structure. And therefore, a constitutional lacuna exists on how the Republic should react to such threats. The scenario is more complicated where such threat uses the soil of a friendly country to mount attacks on Kenya. A review of the Constitution should provide for a guided declaration of war on such non-state aggressors in order to trigger requisite military response, including the mobilization of international allies to extinguish such threat. However, considering that such declaration may birth a war that goes on into perpetuity, any provision in the Constitution for a declaration of war with a non-state actor may require to outline how it affects the holding of a general election to forestall abuse by a person who may be intent on mischievously holding on to power under the guise of the existence of war. Mr. Chairman, because I think my time has ended, I will just hand over to you some of them to address in some rulings that I have made in recent times. But importantly, Mr. Chairman, the talk is about reviewing our Constitution. And my main concern is, unlike in 2000, the Honorable Attorney General then brought to Parliament an act which was called the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Review Act, CKRC. It was then in 2008 revised, and it gave clear guidelines and timelines and thresholds of what was to be done. And our current governance structure, unlike in the past, when we did not have county assemblies, we now have county assemblies. If you read through Articles 255, 256, 250, more importantly 256 to 257, you do not see any provisions relating to what would happen. Who introduces a bill in a county assembly? What happens after what is the threshold by which a county assembly is supposed to pass a constitutional amendment bill? Contrary to what was there in the CKRC Act. Is a county assembly able to amend a proposed constitutional amendment bill at that level? Because it's not provided for in the Constitution currently. When the bills come to the Senate and the National Assembly, who is supposed to introduce those bills? Those are issues, Mr. Chairman, that I thought it is good that we begin to address in good time to avoid a situation whereby then we... And finally, Mr. Chairman, and I really appreciate this opportunity to make this presentation, I am worried as to how, is there a limit as to the number of efforts that popular initiatives may be conducted in 1 year. How does IEBC verify signatures, for instance? Mr. Chairman, I'm addressing the fact that the lack of a referendum law. And while at it, I want to exonerate Parliament. Parliament is the only body that originates laws. Any bill can originate from any person, because these days we have even the petitions to Parliament, which may include the enactment of laws. It's just to prepare ourselves for this what I consider to be a very noble task that this task force has, to avoid to try and shield this effort from legal technicalities. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Can I see by a show of hands those who want to ask questions? Attorney General Emeritus, Bishop Njenga, Florence, and I shall come last now that Attorney General has decided he goes first. You can start. Yeah.
What? Yeah, this one. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me first of all say that I'm very grateful and I highly appreciate the fact that although you have not come here representing Parliament, you have come here in your personal capacity, but we cannot divorce from your personal capacity the fact that you have been a member of the judiciary.
Na bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, kumbuka vikao hivyo vya BBI vinatarajiwa kutamatika siku ya leo, na sijui maoni yako ni gani? Unadhani kwamba kufikia sasa mashirika husika yamewasilisha mapendekezo yatakayosaidia katika kuendeleza taifa hili au la? Kwingineko ni kwamba wakazi wa Burati katika kaunti ya Isiolo wameelezea wasiwasi wao baada ya mamilioni ya mayai ya nzige kuangua. Wenyeji hao wakisema kuwa iwapo serikali